Hey y'all, so this video is going to be a review and a recap of American Horror Story episode 7, Traitor. I had to do this review and recap because I love American Horror Story. And yeah, so I just wanted to do it. So I hope you guys like it. So like I said, the name of the episode was Traitor, and we had some traitors in this episode, okay? I liked that. So we start off the episode with Dinah, the voodoo priestess boo. I'm so glad we get to see Dinah doing what she does. So she's making, I guess, some house calls, and we see her ripping some poor baby's heart out, just mercilessly, just, you know, Dinah don't care, okay? And so she rips this girl's heart out and brings it to this woman, apparently, whose husband was just cheating. So I guess that was the mistress she took her heart out of. They put it in this little blender, make a little heart concoction. Apparently the wife is just like, look, get this in him so he can be right, okay? And Dinah was like, let's put some strawberries in the little mixture. Because the wife, I guess Dinah needed something of the husband's. So homegirl gave her some toenail clippings of her husband's. And I was like, okay, this is what we doing? She just really not like her husband like that. Like, girl, just get a divorce. It's not all of that, but whatever. So they put some toenail clippings, the heart, and just some other nasty stuff in there. Dinah's like, let's put some strawberries in there and make it easier to go down. The wife was like, nah, boo, that's good. Dinah and this woman scorned, they go and they got the husband bound and gagged in the bedroom, and Dinah's on top of him and just forcing this blended heart mixture in there in his mouth and just letting it all go down there. And it's like, ugh, okay. He kind of passes out, and Dinah's like, yeah, when he wakes up, girl, he's gonna be the man you want. And she was like, thank you. And Dinah was like, tell your friends about me. The voodoo priestess is back, boo. And so I was like, yeah, Dinah, go ahead, boo. So Cordelia pops up on Dinah, and I guess Beholden Madison must have told her, look, Murder House is actually the gateway to hell, girl, and Michael was in there cutting up, and we need to be scared, and we need to do something about this quick. So they got Cordelia all shook up. Cordelia runs to Dinah and was like, I need a meeting with Papa Legba ASAP, girl, like yesterday. I need a meeting like yesterday. Dinah's like, Papa Legba? Girl, Papa Legba is gonna ask for something. Cordelia's like, that's cool, I'm ready. Dinah's like, okay, worst, I need some $100,000 in cash ASAP, and we can make this happen. And so they make it happen. So Dinah's holding this little ceremony for Papa Legba to like get him to come, speaking in Creole and whatnot. Papa Legba kind of just rolls up. I love Papa Legba, y'all. I'm so glad he's back. So Papa Legba just in there, well, what's up, girl? You know, speaking a little French accent. Cordelia's like, hey, I need you to help me push Michael ass back into hell. And Papa Legba's like, girl, you putting me at risk, okay? Because I guess Papa Legba is like the Undertaker, basically. And growing up in Louisiana, I've heard of Papa Legba before. Like, I heard about it, but I was like, I never really knew about him too much. But I'm glad they're kind of talking about him in this series. So he's like the Undertaker, basically, and Papa Legba's like, girl, you put me at risk opening the gates of hell for this man who is not ready to go yet. He was like, I'm gonna need you to do something for me. And Cordelia was like, what's up? Anything. And he was like, I want the souls of all your girls, every one of them. Oh, we see Nan. Nan was with Papa Legba, girl, and she was in hell, just living it up, having a good old time. Nan was, I love Nan, first of all, so I'm glad we see her, even if for a little bit. Hopefully we see her some more. But Nan was like, yeah, girl, I was having a good time in hell. You miss me? Whatever, cool, I don't miss you. And Nan is trying to like urge this deal on. She's like, yeah, I miss my friends. I want them to come and let's all have a good time in hell together. And Cordelia's trying to be like a good witch, so she is not trying to risk her girls' lives. Like, that's her whole purpose, to save her girls. So she's like, nah, no deal. And Papa Legba's like, okay, come on, man, we not needed here no more. And so they disappear. Dinah's like, you stupid, like you worried about the lives of these girls, And we got 6 billion people's lives in jeopardy with this apocalypse. So, girl, what is you doing? Like, you stupid. Okay, and then we cut to this, like, old horror movie footage, and we see Bubbles McGeisha, who was played by Miss Joan Collins. Okay, and Joan Collins was cutting up in this episode. I was like, yes, Joan. So Bubbles is an actress, and she's in this, like, slasher Christmas movie. She's cutting up in the movie. Killed her husband and trying to clean it up and stuff. Knock on the door. Is this crazy man dressing up as Santa Claus trying to behead people and whatever. And so we hear cut, and Bubbles goes, walks around set, and apparently Bubbles can read people's minds. So Bubbles is just reading people's minds on set and just getting disgusted by people. In walks Madison, because Madison needs Bubbles' help. Madison needs Bubbles' help because the apocalypse and stuff. So Madison's like, girl, I don't really like you, but we need your help for this apocalypse. We need all the witches' power together. And Michael is nuts. Bubbles is like, girl, y'all always screaming apocalypse every 5 seconds, girl. No. And so Bubbles is just reading Madison, and Madison's just trying to be nice, and Madison's like, please. And Bubbles is like, okay, I'll come. They have a little dinner. It's Bubbles, Myrtle, and Madison. Apparently Bubbles and Myrtle knew each other back in the day, and they just cutting up at the table. And I was like, yes, Bubbles. I would love to see some more Bubbles and Myrtle in the future. Make that happen, American Horror Story. Myrtle convinces her that this is for real, girl. Let's take this seriously. And so Bubbles and Myrtle concoct a plan to get, I always forget these names, Ariel and Baldwin, the 2 warlocks who were gung-ho on this apocalypse thing. So they concoct a little dinner, or trick them into a little dinner, so that Bubbles can read their minds and assess the situation and whatnot. And so Myrtle is just being a good host, trying to distract them, talking about some wine, a whole wine story, while Bubbles is in there just getting the tea from their minds, right? Baldwin and Ariel basically was thinking oh, I'm so glad we killed John Henry. And Bubbles was like, huh? And they said, oh, I can't wait to kill these witches. And Bubbles is like, oh, really? So the 2 warlocks leave. Myrtle's like, girl, what you hear? And she was like, yeah, they killed John Henry and they tried to kill us. So I guess this is for real, y'all was right. And so that. Go back to Miss Robichaux's Academy, and Coco is doing the most with this calorie counting power she has, and they just reading the calories and everything on the table. And so then we see she chokes on a snowball. I was like, girl, how? But okay, I'll ride with it, but how? Okay. And so she chokes on this snowball. Mallory's staying calm because, she got the power. So she uses her power to cut into her throat and grab the piece of snowball stuck and take it out, put it all back together, bring her back to life. And then Zoe's shook. Because Zoe's like, girl, I don't know any of these spells to do any of these things. How'd you know how to do that? And Mallory's like, girl, this is what I do. Zoe's runs to Cordelia and is like, girl, I don't think Michael is this alpha. Mallory is the supreme, and that's why your powers are fading. And Cordelia's like, okay, cool, but we still gotta kill Michael, girl. So whatever. So Bubbles and Myrtle make it back to Miss Robichaux's and all that, and they telling them about everything that happened at the dinner with the 2 warlocks, and basically that John Henry is dead, and they trying to kill all the witches and stuff. I think it was this scene when they were at the dinner table. They usually do a good job with the hair and makeup, but I'm seeing this line where Cordelia's wig stops right here, and that's all I could look at that scene. They are all getting together, and they're like, we're gonna find John Henry. So they find the spot where John Henry died. Mallory's doing her stuff. She draws the ashes back, and Cordelia's like, you're gonna have to bring him back to life. And so we cut back to the other episode where the old footage where we're seeing the 7 wonders takes place. And so this is the 7th wonder for Mallory, bringing somebody back to life. And so she successfully brings John Henry back to life, and he's like, so they get with John Henry, and they're like, what happened? Do you know your brothers like concocted a whole plan to go against you and get you killed. And he was like, I didn't know about that part. And so they're like, who killed you? And he was like, a woman. Miriam. So after that, Cordelia and I forgot who else was with her, they walk in on the two warlocks. I'm forgetting their names already. They walk in on Ariel and Baldwin concocting this little powder that if you breathe it in, it like basically kills you from the inside and you bleed out. So they just gung-ho about this little powder and kikiing and whatnot, and Cordelia busts through and was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. First of all, y'all copied that from a witch back in the 1500s. Now it only worked on men, and y'all trying to make this powder only work on women. Y'all copying. So she like lights it on fire, and they're like, oh, okay, cool, you know, whatever. They trying to talk back. Cordelia's like, not gonna happen. Shuts their mouth, like where they can't talk. They get them, and Cordelia goes to Coco and was like, Coco, I need your help. And Coco was like, girl, how am I help? You need to figure out what's for dinner, or you know, what's good. And so Cordelia was like, nah, forget that. I need you to, you know, do something for me. And Coco was kind of like a little like not self-secure in her what she can do and how she can help or whatever. But Cordelia kind of like built her up, and she's like, let's do this. And so basically Coco is trying to trap Miriam at the damn deli counter. Miriam is getting some hooves and whatnot and just, you know, living her best life. Coco is kind of like stalking her. Miriam gets into her car. Coco is like, hey, I forgot exactly what she says, but Miriam gets out a little whatever type of gun, pops her in the chest, and Coco's like, oh Lord. Miriam was like, I'm gonna put you in a stew. I saw you lurking behind me or whatever. And so Miriam thinks she done did something, and come to find out, Coco had this whole plan with the other guys. I forget who they are. Y'all know who they are? I don't know if they're warlocks or like what is their thing. If y'all know, put it in the comments because I was confused. But they're helping Coco and they trap Miriam, throw her in the van. And we get to the last scene where they have the stakes. In Coven, they had lit somebody on fire. I forgot. Ooh. If y'all know, let me know in the comments because I forgot. But it's that scene again where there's three stakes, and you got Ariel and Baldwin on one, and you got Miriam in the middle. Ariel and Baldwin still can't talk or whatever, so they just like, whatever, let it happen. Cordelia's like, I can't, it's against the rules for a witch to sentence a warlock to death, basically, so I'm gonna let one of y'all own do it. And so John Henry kind of like walks from the corner, like all smooth and whatnot. I was like, come through, John Henry, with the resurrection. He basically is like, you know, I'm about to light these fools up. So he gets the gas tank and pours it on Miriam, and Miriam is just loving it for some reason, like, homegirl crazy. So Miriam is like, whatever, that's cool. It's still gonna happen. Y'all can't stop it, basically. And he's like, okay, crazy. He lights everybody on fire, and that happens, and Cordelia and John like walk away because they're like, whatever, we got work to do, and all the other girls walk away, and that's it, y'all. It was a really good episode. I'm so glad we got to see Papa Legba, we got to see Nan, we got to see Dinah doing her little voodoo thing. So hopefully next week is good too. I did miss my boo Michael. Michael wasn't in this episode, but I think we see him next week, so I can see I think Michael is the actor, like in particular. He does a really, really good job. Like, he was meant to play Michael because he gives you that like you're scared of him, but then you're also intrigued by him. So it's like, okay, Michael. So I'm happy to see Michael next week. But this episode was good. Tell me what y'all thought. Like, did y'all think this episode was good? Are y'all glad to see Nan and Dinah and Papa Legba and all that? Let me know in the comments. Like the video and share it. I'm going to do more videos like this for the rest of the season. So, yeah, I love you guys. See you in the next one.